2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Blair Athol or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.
The Ash, Lutzi and Nikki Osborne Snackbox.
Now, anyone who's a little bit funny about spiders, perhaps just cover your ears for a second.
Yeah, that's me.
I think I'd rather spiders than snakes. Like if I had to if you had to put your hand into the box, if you're on the island.
Yes, yes.
And they did the challenge. I'd rather be putting it in there with spiders.
But
than
it's
snakes.
more likely, if you live in a city, like most of us do, that you're gonna, if you're in your bed.
You come across
you're
a
not going
spider.
to see a snake, but you could potentially see a spider.
Spiders crawling into my ears, that freaks me out in the middle of the night.
There's some stupid stat someone said. I think it's complete BS, but it's like...
Oh, you eat them, apparently.
1 in 3 people have had a spider in their mouth while they're sleeping.
Yeah,
or something ridiculous.
You eat an average of 6 per year or something ridiculous. I'm like, how do we... What are we talking about?
Who's checking on this? Yeah.
Well, this one wouldn't fit in your ear or your mouth because in Newcastle they have discovered a new larger species of funnel web spider.
right.
It's funnel web mixed with 2 other larger spiders. Maybe they're
funnel
shagged
funnel
with
web
a bird-eating
poisonous?
one. Hey?
Is
it's the most deadly.
In the world, right?
Yeah, you get 15 minutes.
Why is
to
it
get
breeding
done
with
by
other
one of them.
dangerous spiders?
Yeah, it's upsized, so it's gone, hang on, I'm going to shag that bird-eating spider, so then I'm a giant funnel web. They've called it, aptly, the big boy.
Oh, come on.
So,
at least it's a cool name. Like they're not trying to marry, with a cockapoodle and all of that type of stuff. What they do in the dog world when they go crossbreed.
yeah, like a funnel hunt
Yeah,
or something.
funnel hunt. Yes.
That's actually not bad.
Yeah.
Guys.
Don't
you know what
Yeah.
happened?
Yeah, we can't have that again.
But that's the ones. If there's one spider that unlocks a fear in me, it's the funnel. Remember when I was
Because they appear out of nowhere.
and they used to be in Sydney, but I think they're up here now. Because when I was a kid, it was like, no, when you go to Sydney to see Uncle Michael, who lived on at Coal Cliff, which is
with the rocks
and stuff, exactly on a cliff. It was, and Mum went downstairs to get the washing basket, lifted a towel. Funnel web.
Stop it.
And do you think I slept 1 second for the rest of the week upstairs? I'm still scared by funnel webs.
Well,
and now they're up here, I think.
Well, they're encouraging people to catch them at the moment.
The funnel webs?
The funnel webs. Anyone, not just the big boy. They want the big boy especially, though, because they've got extra venom in them, because Sydney's Australian Reptile Park said that they've had a slow season and they... Basically, to create the anti-venom, that's what they do there. They create the anti-venom. They need 200 bites. Samples per anti-venom vial, whereas the big boy, they think they'd only need like a quarter of that.
So, but the actual anti-venom comes from the poison itself.
From the poison and
but
from
they
the
need
male.
200
bites.
200 bites.
For one.
Yeah.
One
for one
cure.
vial,
One
one
anti-venom.
cure. And they said...
What?
But since they've created this anti-venom, no one has died from a funnel web bite. So they're all over it. But yeah, so they're encouraging people to catch these buggers. And also if they've got egg sacs, they're like, oh, bring that too. Bring in the egg sacs. Yeah,
okay.
Something to do on the weekend. Just go out.
How are you going to... How do you capture... Like, who's trying to capture a funnel web? That seems... Like, they're aggressive.
It seems like something you shouldn't be telling the public to do. All right, kids, this weekend, let's go out and catch some penny lizards and some funnel webs.
I'm interested in the crossbreeding, though. Like, who is the funnel web hooking up with this?
I don't know. They said...
Who's rooting a funnel web? It's like an influencer and a bikie or something, I guess. When you think about it.
I was looking for actual information, but that'll do.
The Ash, Lutzi and Nikki Osborne Snackbox.
To watch the Jetsons.
Yeah, of course.
George Jetson.
Do. We used to mark that as a future. There was the Jetsons and there was Beyond 2000. For me, they were the two markers of what it's going to be like.
Yeah,
and
fair play.
And with the Jetsons, there's more and more things that are coming true. Like we've got holograms, we've got robots, robo-maids in the kitchen, we've got all of that.
When was that set, the Jetsons? Like, did they actually put it like a...
Well, they said they first created it in something like Hang on, what's 62 years ago from now?
Oh no, not when was it out, but when
What was it set in? I don't think they gave it. Did
no,
they?
it was just in the future.
It's just in the future.
Someone Google that.
Well, Jetsons was set in the very near future, 2062. We got a lot of ground to cover up in the next sub 30 years.
not
No,
far
we
off.
don't. We are not far off at all
No?
because there's this company in America, a tech company, Aleph. Hang on, I'm just opening it up. What's his name?
Mate.
Aleph Aeronautics. So they have their Aleph Model 0, which is a flying car, and they believe that in the next 10 years or so, these will be available to buy for the mainstream.
How do they come off the ground? Is it like a runway deal?
It's got like,
In the-
from what I can see, it's
Or
got
does it
multiple
lift up
jet
like a
streams.
helicopter?
It's more like a helicopter, but it's got all these multiple jet streams. So the air's somehow being sucked in from top through to bottom through multiple jet streams. And anyway, they're saying that this will be more available than like a Corolla, and it'll be the same price because they said it's actually really simple tech, which I find fascinating.
So they got a picture concept. I'm just wondering because usually when they start designing stuff like this, you can think of a movie that it's appeared in. There's
based on something.
Yeah. Okay, not that. That's
Give us
Oh, what have you opened? Is that a selfie?
Oh,
Mitch has my phone.
God. I hope not.
Wait, what did I take?
But it is a car.
It's a car. It looks a bit like a Batmobile, but with like
It
It looks like an old school Batmobile.
Yeah, like the 1960s. Hardly
Yeah.
enough.
Yes.
We're talking about Batmobile,
but in black Kevlar.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. Look,
But
I remember being a kid, Nicky, and seeing the 1984.
I knew we were going to bring this up.
Well, I mention
But
it all
yeah,
the
you
time
have
because,
to.
like, I was just a young kid, and the guy came into the opening ceremony on a jetpack. He flew around the stadium, and I just remember thinking, "Wow, that's the future. That's what we're all going to be doing." That was 40 years ago, and I don't think I've ever seen it since.
well, I've got a little bit of insider information. My husband, who used to work over at Moreton Bay Shire Council, they've been talking about having the first kind of airport on the roof of the council for the Olympics for drone choppers.
Heard about this?
Yeah, you've heard about. Of course, you've heard about it. You know everything.
Yeah. But Moreton Bay, they're really
Progressive.
like really, really progressive.
So they're
This is so
pushing
cool.
hard for this.
Yeah, they are, and it's a possibility still. And there's a couple of different within that. So you have kind of a landing dock kind of situation.
Yes.
And then there's a few companies that are now saying, well, we can produce the actual crafts that can do it. And there's a hope that, air taxis at the very least by 2032.
Oh, so it'd be a drone deal.
Yeah.
So it'd be like
Like driverless.
It's somewhere between a drone and a helicopter, but it's essentially a massive drone.
Well, I've always thought, how do you know which airspace you need to fly in? Because, people are dumb enough on the roads, and that's quite simple, staying between the lines. Imagine
Yeah.
having to work out what level you're flying. That's where they're saying it's going to be driverless. So you literally just hop in, and it just blows its way through. So
the
every
technical conveyor belt effectively just
Yes.
makes you.
Exactly.
because all the cars, they know what they're doing. We just don't know what we're doing. But yeah, this is a thing that they're saying is actually quite inexpensive to make. The tech's quite easy.
Yeah.
It'll be inexpensive to buy. It's just the infrastructure and getting the governments to get on board.
Which they're trying to do at the moment. I sat at that South East Queensland Council of Mayors thing recently, which Moreton Bay were at. You sat in the vehicle and you put the 3D goggles on, and it took you on a virtual tour around Brisbane in that. And it was, this is real. Like, this is people are actually doing this now. And we're talking the next 10 years.
But then how will we ever have an excuse for being late for work? There's no traffic.
I'll tell you what's weird. Sorry, Ash, make your point. I stomped all over you.
No, it's
before.
cool.
Did you have a point to make?
I can't remember.
Sorry, I was.
No, that's all good. Yeah.
I must admit, for some reason, I took a chopper to the Sunshine Coast recently.
Yeah.
And the one overwhelming thought as you're choppering sort of adjacent to the Bruce Highway
yeah.
is you look down and you think, like, it's quite kind of absurd that the only way we travel is
Yes.
that tiny
On
little
the
strip.
ground.
It's pretty
But
crazy.
when you
isn't
look
it?
at the airspace above, and people are going to be going, oh no, we're going to look up and just see crap flying everywhere, blah, blah, blah. But you're still having lanes and there's still
There'll be
obviously
zones.
and everything. But it's absurd that we don't use the airspace more effectively in this day.
It is.
That's
And-
why kookaburras are always laughing at us because they're like, you dumb
Well, exactly, right.
buggers
Birds
just
must be laughing their heads
driving
off at
along
us.
the ground.
And it's got to come, as I said at the start, like 40 years ago, they had the technology to do that. It's only got better. Every kid has got a drone. It seems like now they're flying around. I reckon that's what Drake was leaving for. You know, they were flying drones into his living room. But, you know, it's not like we don't have the technology. You just need to take that next step to adding humans to it.
And it is happening. I know Whisk Aero, being one of them, has signed a deal with Air Services Australia. So essentially what they're doing is they're laying the foundation for incorporating safe, first of all, and then autonomous air travel in Australia's airspaces. So the timeline for this, Nikki, you're right, is
In the next-
5 to
Yeah.
10 years.
Oh, I'd love to see it happen. How cool would that be?
It's the Jetsons.
Air Force Osborne.
The Ash, Lutzi and Nikki Osborne Snack Box.
It's Ash Lutzi and Nikki Osborne here at Nova.
Yeah, with
indeed.
Matty Rowe in the house because
That's not Mitch.
Mitch is running late this morning. How are you going anyway, Matty? You good? I see
Yeah,
you've been
I'm
travelling
sweating.
around. Have you been travelling around the country? Taking the show on the road?
Kind of. I worked out that I've taken 9 flights already this year. Lots of Sydney trips.
You're getting
For
your
music.
frequent flyers on that. You're going to go platinum in no time the way you're going.
They're making it harder than ever.
What?
I feel like-
So hard.
That's illegal.
So hard.
I
I, feel like
made
you've got
it
to have
10
more points.
Yes, I made it 10 status points shy of going up a tier, and I missed out. And then old Five Arms said he'd sort me out, and he hasn't.
Well, at least he's trying to help, is
Yeah,
he? Or,
he is-
but
he
why,
is
why
trying
are they
to help.
denying her bloody
Yeah, you
points?
should
You
know.
can't
What-
do that.
what-
Someone's getting them. Bloody Helen and publicity's probably taking them all.
Yeah,
No,
bloody
that
Helen.
doesn't happen, does it? Like,
Well, who is taking them? Someone's taking your points.
Well, Nova's not paying for my flights. It's other people.
Other people.
Labels.
But I'm doing mine. Okay, so I'm going to Hong Kong on Friday, and someone else is looking after the stuff. And I said,
Who's
you
your
know,
man?
give me my Qantas points. And they said, yeah, no worries, you're flying Cathay, but we can do that because it's one world. I'm getting my points.
Oh, you need to have a points chat with Lutzi.
And you know what you say? You say, look, it's not about the points. It's about my status and everything. So I make sure I get my aisle seat with my special meal and my...
Oh, you've hacked the system.
Yeah, so
he
then they
knows
go-
systems,
Yeah.
Matty.
Then you get into, oh no, it's my dietary requirements. Like, you got to put my points in because otherwise I sit in a seat getting the steak and I don't eat steak.
Yeah, you know.
You know what I'm saying?
Look at the way he
He's
says,
just first world
I don't eat
problem.
steak. Like,
and guess what? I eat steak, but like they don't know that. They don't know that I eat steak.
You know the movie with George Clooney?
Yeah, up in the air.
Yeah, that's Lutzi.
That's me.
Yeah. Are you currently having an affair with a woman having an affair?
I wish. That'd be pretty fun, wouldn't it?
The Ash, Lutzi and Nikki Osborne Snack Box.
Are any of you guys, do you have claustrophobia at all?
oh, yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Do you, Lutzi?
Not really. No.
No. Oh, that's a good way to be.
Well, I mean, you couldn't put me in a, if one of those shows.
Put you in a
couldn't put me
boot of a car.
in a coffin, and put me on a.
Oh, interesting
something
you
like that.
say that, Ash, boot of the car, because this happened to me a few years ago, but just when I saw Car of the Year yesterday. Well done, Hyundai, by the way.
Yeah,
on
that's,
Car
that's
of the
impressive. Yeah.
Year. But one time I went out. This is not a Hyundai story. Went out to the beach with my family. I was with my brother-in-law was driving, and then I ended up on a phone call to my agent. We pulled up on a quiet road next to the beach. It was 37 degrees, which is why we were going to the beach. And I was still stuck on the phone. I said, you guys go ahead without me and I'll catch you up. And they're like, okay. They closed the door. They kept walking and then the locks went click with the remote. And I thought nothing of it. And then I finished my phone call and I went to get out of the car. I could not get out of the car. Then I'm looking for a central unlock button. It's deactivated. Nothing's happening. I'm trying to do Windows. I'm trying to do everything. Nothing is happening. Starting to panic because I'm getting rather hot by now. I open the manual. I'm too panicked to open the manual. I call my dad because it was his car. And I called him. I said, Dad, how do I get out? If the car's locked, it's being locked from the remote, how do I get out? And he's like, I'll just call the dealer. He calls the dealer. He then calls back and he goes, you can't call the ambulance or the fire brigade now. So I've called the fire brigade. I called
Was it
000.
an old car? Sorry, I missed the start of that.
This was a back in the day. It was a BMW X3,
Right, so
I
just a
think.
normal sort of car, 2000 model.
Yeah, And so I call the ambulance, call 000, and I start bashing on the windows with my hands because I am
How
cooking.
long had you been inside at this point?
This has probably been about 6 minutes. And it is getting so hot. I feel like an ant under a magnifying glass. And I'm like smashing the window now. My hands are bleeding. I'm freaking out. I'm screaming because I'm like, I'm not going to make it. And then...
and there was no way, even the dealer, whatever said, there's
no way of getting out.
How is that possible?
And so anyway, I'm thinking, I'm gone. I'm done. And then... thankfully, a family walked past. I'm screaming at them, and they're like, "What? What is it?" I'm like, "Go and get my brother-in-law."
So what's it look like?
Yeah, I know. Well, I look like a lunatic because they're like, "Just let yourself out."
Yeah,
I can't. And anyway, they dragged my brother-in-law up from the beach. He's still happy as Larry. Has no idea.
He's been swimming.
Yeah, and then he unlocks it, and I fall out of the car like crying, a mess, and then I realised that there are certain models of cars where if you lock it with the remote, there is no way of getting out. And I'm like, what a way to kill someone.
At this moment, this would be your brother you'd be interested in killing, obviously.
Put him back in there.
Yeah, well, cancer did that, unfortunately. But
No, I didn't know that, did I?
no, but moving on from that.
Can we?
I'm sorry.
Moving on. No, that's the thing. And I'm wondering
That's
how
ridiculous
many...
that there's cars that do that. Why?
is that-
Why? What to what end?
But I don't know. I think it could still be a thing. I think there are cars out there where if it's locked with the remote, you can't get out. So now whenever we pull out of a petrol station or anywhere, if Jeremy accidentally locks the car, I lose my mind. I lose it.
So at the end of the year when we give the car away, like usually there's a chance we'd put you in there.
Nope.
I was going to say that's a.
And I was never claustrophobic beforehand, but now I've got a real thing. Like I go from 0 to crazy panic straight away.
I get that.
I'm just interested to know how many cars still do that. If that, it's a. I
is
mean,
it-
it's a European car.
In the old
try it on
days,
your
it-
wife.
you
Everyone
just-
try it on their wife now.
Just give it a go. Lock someone in the car.
The Ash, Lutzi and Nikki Osborne Snack Box.
We were talking about, Nikki, you had a crisis. You were trapped in the car with seemingly no way out, and we had some calls coming through. Similar experiences. Beck out of Ripley, first one through. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Beck. It happened to your kid, yes?
Yeah, I had my two boys in the car. We were just looking through a car yard and they wanted to play their iPads. And I have a BMW iX1 and you can turn the aircon on remote. So I turned it on and I was like, okay. And then it didn't turn on. And then lucky I was close by, but I could see them banging on the windows and they wanted to get out.
Oh.
And I was close by, so I ran over. But yeah, they couldn't open any of the doors.
Wow. See,
True.
okay, so
That'd freak you out.
that
wouldn't it?
would freak you out because you could accidentally do something bad to someone.
It just seems unbelievable
Yeah.
that you can be locked in.
I know, I can't
in
believe
the car.
I mean, in the old days, you just like lift the
Lift the thing, the stick.
Yeah.
I'm all for the old days. The more cars get like electronically motivated and activated, it freaks me out. I want to be able to just flip a switch.
In the old days, I lock my keys inside the car sometimes, and you'd be able to get into it with the
The coat hanger.
coat hanger, and people would go, "What are you?" And you go, "It's all right, it's my car.
Yes.
I'm breaking into my own car."
I remember at my old footy club when I used to play down there, and someone locked their keys in the car, and I think it was actually a police officer locked the keys in the car, and then some teenager walked, but I can get in there, and they said, "Oh, really?" They said, "If you promise not to, if you promise not to fingerprint us, we'll get your keys out of your car for you."
Oh, that's hilarious.
I'll just let them do it. Yeah.
And we've got Angie. She's got a solution for this situation. Angie, what's your advice if this happens to anybody?
Well, my 13-year-old son told me this bit of trivia that I never knew, but, 13-year-olds know everything, don't they? So,
Had to get him in that.
the headrest on your seat
Yes.
in most cars will, you can take it off.
Yeah, you can pull it
And
all the
those-
way out. Yes.
Yeah, and those two metal things are designed for a dual purpose, obviously, yes, to put the headrest in. But if you're in an emergency situation and you're trapped in the car or if you're submerging in water, those metal seats are designed to smash the windows.
I think
Like
Yes.
you're submerged in water.
I know she's going down.
Yourself, use that thing. Angie, get that thing out of the headrest.
No, I learnt that later as well, that you're
so
meant
you can
to...
smashes the
Yeah.
glass safely enough where it,
Yeah, but it was
shatters
my
and-
dad's car. I would be kind of torn. Do I die or do I smash my dad's
Yeah,
Beamer?
exactly. You want to be sure.
Yeah, you'd want to be sure. But also on that submerged water, like in case, Ash, you accidentally get swamped when you're driving on Stratty, the rule is you're meant to let the water come in and then you're meant to climb to the back. You take the headrest off and you smash the back windshield. It's designed to float.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
out the
you
back.
go out
Yeah,
the
sorry,
rear
yeah.
windshield. That's how you get out if your car's ever in water. So there you go. Or just get a tide map.
All these rabbit holes we've been down on social media are paying off.
The Ash, Lutzi and Nikki Osborne Snackbox.
2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, Reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Blair Athol or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.